For years, many of us gardeners have heard whispers of using yeast to give our plants a bit of a boost. It seems a simple enough idea. You activate some baker's yeast, dilute it, and pour it onto the soil. You might see a little spurt of growth, and for a short while, it feels like you've discovered a secret trick. However, I am here to tell you that this is like inviting only one guest to a grand garden party. It's a start, but it misses the glorious potential of a bustling, diverse crowd. True, sustainable garden vitality doesn't come from a single organism, but from a thriving community. The Million Microbes Method is a different approach altogether. It is about nurturing a whole ecosystem in a bucket. Instead of focusing on just one type of fungus, like yeast, we are going to cultivate a rich, complex brew of countless different bacteria, fungi, and other microscopic life forms. Think of it as creating a concentrated living compost tea. This method understands that the soil is not just dirt, it is a living, breathing entity. By feeding this entity with a diverse population of microbes, you are setting the stage for truly spectacular growth, improved plant health, and resilience that a simple yeast solution can never hope to match. Let's consider why focusing only on yeast is a rather short-sighted strategy. Yeast is a powerful decomposer, and it can release some nutrients quickly. This is what causes that initial, often fleeting, burst of green. The problem is that it creates an imbalance. A healthy soil environment relies on a delicate network of different microbes all performing different jobs. Some fix nitrogen from the air, others break down tough organic matter, and many form protective relationships with plant roots. Flooding the soil with just yeast can disrupt these established beneficial communities, a bit like a rowdy guest upsetting the harmony of a well-mannered gathering. The real magic, the sort of magic that leads to long-term sustainable garden success, is found in diversity. The Million Microbes Method is designed to foster this very diversity. It provides a balanced diet for a whole city of microscopic helpers, not just a quick snack for one. This creates a robust, self-sustaining system within your soil. Your plants will have access to a wider range of nutrients, their roots will be better protected from disease, and the very structure of your soil will improve over time. It is a holistic approach, one that works with nature rather than trying to force it. Beneath the surface of every garden lies a hidden world, a bustling metropolis of microscopic life. This is the soil food web, and it is the true engine of your garden. A single teaspoon of healthy soil can contain billions of microbes, including bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes. Each of these tiny creatures plays a vital role. Bacteria are the primary decomposers, breaking down simple organic compounds. Fungi, with their long, thread-like hyphae, act like an underground internet, transporting nutrients and water between plants while breaking down tougher materials like wood. It is a beautiful, intricate society. When this microbial society is diverse and thriving, your plants reap enormous benefits. The microbes act as tiny chefs, constantly cooking up a feast for your plant's roots. They take complex organic matter and minerals in the soil and convert them into forms that plants can easily absorb. This process, known as nutrient cycling, is far more efficient and sustainable than applying synthetic fertilizers. Furthermore, a healthy microbial population improves soil structure. Their activities create small air pockets, which helps with drainage and allows roots to breathe. And their sticky secretions bind soil particles together, preventing erosion. One of the most fascinating aspects of this underground world is the symbiotic relationship between microbes and plant roots. The most famous of these are the mycorrhizal fungi, which form a partnership with over 90% of all plant species. The fungi extend the plant's root system, reaching far into the soil to gather water and nutrients that would otherwise be out of reach. In return, the plant provides the fungi with sugars produced through photosynthesis. It is a perfect exchange, a natural alliance that makes plants stronger, more drought-tolerant, and more resistant to disease. This is a level of cooperation that a simple yeast mixture cannot replicate. By neglecting this microbial world, we make our job as gardeners much harder. We find ourselves constantly battling pests, diseases, and nutrient deficiencies. We become reliant on chemical fixes that can further harm the delicate balance in the soil. The Million Microbes Method is about shifting our focus. Instead of feeding the plant directly, we feed the soil. We nurture the microscopic life within it, and in turn, that life nurtures our plants. It is a fundamental change in perspective, but one that leads to a healthier, more resilient, and ultimately more rewarding garden for us all. Creating your own microbial brew is wonderfully simple and deeply satisfying. You do not need any specialist equipment, just a few basic ingredients and a bit of patience. The core components are a source of diverse microbes, a food source for them to multiply, and water. For the microbes, a good, generous handful of rich, healthy compost or woodland soil is perfect. This is your starter culture, teeming with the life you want to cultivate. Avoid sterile, bagged compost, and instead seek out the good stuff, dark, crumbly, and smelling sweetly of earth. This is the heart of your brew. Now, you need to give these microbes something to eat. This is where the recipe gets interesting. You will need a simple, unsulfured sugar source. A couple of tablespoons of black treacle or molasses dissolved in a little warm water is ideal. This provides the readily available energy the microbes need to wake up and start reproducing rapidly. We also want to add a more complex food source. A handful of oats or a tablespoon of wholemeal flour provides a slower release meal, ensuring the microbial population remains balanced and diverse as it grows over the next day or so. This is a key difference from just using yeast, which only gets a quick sugar hit. To begin your brew, you will need a bucket. A 10-liter one is a good size to start with. Fill it with rainwater if you can, as tap water often contains chlorine which can harm the microbes. If you must use tap water, let it stand in the open bucket for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to dissipate. Now, add your handful of compost or woodland soil. Then, pour in your dissolved treacle and sprinkle in the oats or flour. Give it all a very vigorous stir to introduce as much oxygen as possible into the water. Oxygen is crucial for the beneficial aerobic microbes to thrive. Cover the bucket with a cloth to keep debris out, but still allow air to circulate. For the next 24 to 36 hours, you need to aerate the mixture. The simplest way is to give it a very energetic stir for a minute or two every few hours. You are trying to get plenty of air into the liquid. You will know it is ready when it develops a pleasant, yeasty, earthy smell. If it starts to smell sour or unpleasant, it means the wrong sort of microbes have taken over, and you should discard it and start again. Once brewed, it is a living tonic that needs to be used within a few hours. Dilute it 1 part brew to 10 parts water and get ready to treat your garden. The true test of any gardening method is, of course, in the results. I first tried this method on a particularly tired-looking bed of leafy greens. On one side, I continued with my usual routine of feeding and watering. On the other, I applied the diluted Million Microbes brew once a week, drenching the soil around the base of the plants. The difference within just a couple of weeks was quite remarkable. The plants treated with the microbial solution were visibly larger, their leaves a deeper, more vibrant shade of green. They simply looked healthier and more full of life. It was not just the size and color that impressed me. When I took a closer look, the plants on the microbe-treated side seemed far more resilient. We had a brief spell of aphid trouble, and while the conventionally treated plants showed signs of stress and infestation, the microbe-fed plants were largely untroubled. It was as if their natural defense systems had been switched on and turned up to full volume. This is a classic sign of a plant that is not just surviving, but actively thriving, supported by a healthy community of microbial allies in the soil around its roots. The benefits extended below the ground too. At the end of the season, when clearing the bed, I dug up a plant from each side to compare their root systems. The difference was plain to see. The plant from the standard bed had a decent but unremarkable root ball. The plant from the microbe-treated side, however, had a massive, dense network of fine roots, all covered in clumps of healthy soil. This demonstrated that the brew had not just fed the plant, but had fundamentally improved the soil structure, allowing the roots to explore and draw nourishment from a much greater volume of earth. I encourage you to try this for yourself. It costs next to nothing, and the potential rewards are enormous. Run your own experiment on a patch of your garden. Treat one set of plants with your usual method and another with the Million Microbes brew. Take notes, observe the differences, and see the results with your own eyes. The long-term benefits of building a rich living soil will transform your garden, reducing your reliance on fertilizers and pesticides, and leading to stronger, healthier, and more productive plants. Do give it a go, and please, do share your results. Happy gardening!